Oh my goodness, is that right? I'm surprised. I had no idea.
Our guest inherited a unique piece of jewelry from her grandmother, which she calls a pin watch, believed to have originated from Germany and
The late 1800s, I believe it came from one of her family members, but they came from Germany, so that's all the history I know about it.
The item is actually a lapel watch from around 1900, showcasing a high level of craftsmanship
but a piece of jewelry that's wonderful on many levels, and it owes a debt to European inspiration.
This watch features a good quality American watch movement set in a 14-karat gold setting, crafted by the well-known Newark jeweler Bippert, Griscom, and Osborne. Adorned with emeralds, diamonds, dementoid garnets, rubies, and cabochon emeralds, the intertwined snake motif symbolizes everlasting love, a common theme in Victorian-era jewelry. The piece also boasts intricate gold work and green goulash enamel, showcasing the best of American jewelry manufacturing from that period. At auction, this gold lapel watch could fetch at $12,000.
Oh my goodness, is that right? I'm surprised. I had no idea.
Received this painting as a graduation gift. It was created by Marina Lujan, known as Pop Chali, a female artist from Taos, Pueblo, New Mexico, born in 1908. She gained recognition within Hollywood circles and the Taos social scene. While she typically depicts stretched-out Art Deco-style horses or deer, this painting showcases Taos, Pueblo, where she grew up, with its distinctive three-story structure. The attire depicted in the painting is typical of Taos. Although the painting's exact date is uncertain, Lujan continued painting well into the late 20th century. The appraiser notes the painting's quality and size and estimates its value at,
I would expect a price tag of $3,000 to $4,000 on it very easily.
Oh, exciting!
It's
very exciting. Nice. Oh, thank you.
Item from Ginger Rogers, obtained by the guest after working for her for 18 years and acquiring it from her estate. The guest has documentation, including an invoice receipt from 1937.
And I found the invoice receipt from the furniture maker with this chair listed on there, so that was pretty cool.
Rogers paid $95 for the chair in 1937, and the guest estimates paying around $100 for it. Working for Rogers was an unforgettable experience, involving travel around the world and meetings with famous and interesting people.
I got to go to the White House several times, the Academy Awards, so it was quite an experience. And besides that, she was a very, very nice person.
The chair is a reproduction of a style popular in London in the early 1800s, specifically a metamorphic library chair designed to convert into steps for reaching high shelves in a library. Made by Albert Wien in California in 1937, the chair is part of a set of about 50 pieces of furniture he made for Rogers' new house, all in honey curly maple. While the chair's value as a reproduction is around $400, its true worth lies in its association with Rogers. In a retail setting, it could sell for around $1,500, with the potential to increase to over $2,000 with a photograph.
Wow, I'm sure she'd be very pleased.
Brought a beautiful porcelain garden lantern for appraisal, which had been in the family for the past 70 years. The artistic piece was made in the early 1990s in Japan.
And it was made in an area of Japan called Arita, which is a very large porcelain production area.
The top of the lantern depicted shishi, a Japanese term for referring to lion motifs. This lantern featured traditional Japanese motifs.
Starting with this sort of meandering vine design, and then moving upward, you see the typical dragons here along the border, below an open work border.
Even though the lantern had some condition problems, the appraiser estimated its value to be $10,000. The guest seemed surprised to hear such a high value, but she insisted on keeping it in the family.
10,000?
Yeah.
Very good.
So it's wonderful.
Outstanding.
Thank you so much.
I think I shall hold on to you a little bit longer.
Guest Toy Firehouse, a lithographed paper on wood style, was a childhood plaything kept from their grandmother's house in Baltimore City. Dating back to the late 19th century, this style was a cheap and colorful way to make toys.
With the invention of the color lithograph presses, You could print these beautiful, colorful papers, and then just cut wood and glue them on there, and you made these very decorative buildings.
Made by Bliss in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, this firehouse is identified by the numbers on the paper.
But whenever you see these numbers on the paper like this, that is a giveaway that it's Bliss.
Bliss was renowned for its dollhouses, with their Bliss Street displays featuring various houses, including the coveted Bliss firehouses, making this piece rare and valuable. The fire pumper that came with the house is a rare find, often missing from sets, though the horses that accompany it are from a later period and not original to the set. Despite missing the original horses, this firehouse is in excellent condition, with the original flag and bell, and could easily fetch around $3,500 at auction due to its rarity and completeness.
Wow.
Thank you.
A painting brought by a guest had been in the family since 1962. It was a beautiful piece created by the artist Angelo Botello. The guest had a close personal relationship with the artist as their families were dear friends. The appraiser highlighted Botello's background, noting his popularity for vibrant paintings. The particular piece depicted religious themes in Botello's signature angular style. They discussed the painting's bold colors and Botello's love for the Caribbean. Since there wasn't a date or title, the appraiser figured it was probably made around the early 60s. Given the artwork's rarity and the artist's legacy, the appraised value was around
For $100,000.
Thank you. I never saw that picture. Oh my goodness.
Inherited from the guest's aunt, this painting was part of her aunt's collection, which included many more pieces. Signed Adabelle Champlain, the artist was born in St. Louis, studied in Chicago, and later moved to California around 1910, where she became known for her California landscapes. The painting depicts a typical California scene with a bright sky, brown hills, and a live oak tree. Painted on masonite, a type of fiberboard, the painting's material indicates that it was created between 1930 and 1950.
But since masonite really wasn't used until 1930, we know this painting was done somewhere between 1930 and 1950.
While the market for Ada Champlin's work wasn't strong in the past, there is now a significant market for California paintings, making this piece potentially valuable. At auction, the painting could fetch between
$5,000 to $7,000 for this at auction.
Wow. I would have never thought that picture. Oh my goodness.
captivating cameo glass inkwell. It was a cherished possession of the guest's great-aunt, a treasured object from childhood. The cameo glass base, a testament to English craftsmanship, was created by Webb, a company renowned for its artistry. The intricately designed silver top, however, bears the mark of Gorham.
Cover on the top was made by Gorham, which is a silver company in the United States.
This exquisite collaboration dates back to the late 19th century. The appraiser sheds light on the unique color choice of the raisin-colored base, unlike the more typical vibrant hues often used in cameo glass. Spilled ink would be far less noticeable on this darker background, making it a thoughtful design choice for an inkwell. The artistry of the English cameo glass would attract enthusiasts of that specific art form. For a retail price, the appraiser suggests a range of,
I would say, between $4,000 and $6,000.
Wow.
Yes.
Can maybe buy a few rounds at St. Andrews after that.
On the real course.
Spotlight Golf Machine is a cutting-edge, state-of-the-art golf training device designed to improve swing accuracy and distance control presented by the guest. Using advanced technology, this machine tracks and analyzes shots, providing real-time feedback and actionable insights to enhance a golfer's game. Made in 1936, this piece was markedly stronger and had an advertising campaign in the press. Basically, it works by whacking a golf ball attached to a piece of string, and it will record the direction of the shot. Furthermore, the distance is recorded on a scale at the side of the actual maps of golf holes. The golf holes, just like the real golf course with a real shot, flag, and target, would select the right club for the distance, and it would be recorded. This golf machine offers a customizable experience suitable for golfers of all skill levels, making it a must-have for anyone looking to elevate their golfing performance with an auction price of
£5,000 up to perhaps £10,000.
Oh, right, okay. Yes.
Can maybe buy a few rounds at St Andrews after that.
On the real course.
show, we are presented with the nib of a pencil. Now, you might wonder what gives this nib any value, except it was used by an exceptional American cartoonist of the 20th century, Charles Monroe Schulz, popularly referred to as Sparky. Charles Schulz was an iconic artist and cartoonist best known for his comic strip Peanuts, which features his two best-known characters, Charlie Brown and Snoopy. Our guest on the show is also an iconic author, illustrator, animator, and playwright, Mo Williams. He is known for creating the animated television series Sheep in the Big City for Cartoon Network, working on Sesame Street and The Offbeats, and creating the popular children's book series Elephant and Piggy. Years after Sparky passed away, Mo became friends with Janine, his widow. After a backstage tour in the Schulz Museum in Santa Rosa, Mo was given one of Sparky's nibs. After struggling to finally get a hold of the nib, Mo Williams used it to illustrate one of his books, Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed.
So I struggled and I struggled until I finally felt that I had a handle on it. And I illustrated one of my books, Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed, with Sparky's nib.
A little piece of metal can only become so valuable when it's used by two of the greatest and most iconic American cartoonists. This pen nib, to a Peanuts collector, would be worth
Peanuts collector, $500 to $1,000 maybe.
Every time I dipped this pen in the ink, I was thinking about Sparky and my journey.
Quilt, discovered by the guest in their aunt's closet, is a testament to the artistry and craftsmanship of its creator. The quilt features a bold red center in the princess feather design, with intricate reverse applique and quilting, dating it back to the late 19th century. Hearts quilted throughout the piece add a charming touch, along with the finely quilted tiny diamonds that adorn the entire quilt. While the pattern is not typical for its time, the high level of intricacy and quality craftsmanship make this quilt a rare and valuable find, with an estimated retail value between
$3,500 and $4,500, and it could go higher if all the cards land in the right place.
Okay, great. That's wonderful.
Exquisite crystal regulator clock, originally owned by the guest's great-great-uncle, Arthur, has a fascinating history of travel and family heritage. Made around 1890, this clock, though retailed by Tiffany & Company, was likely crafted in Paris, showcasing the finest craftsmanship of the time. The clock features stunning green onyx and intricate champollion detailing, seen on the columns, top, and dial, as well as on the accompanying garniture set. While the family estimated this clock's value at
$4,000 for a clock like this.
That's wonderful. That's really wonderful.
His dad served in the Army during World War II in the map-making division. He was stationed in Paris, where he met Le Corbusier, a renowned figure. Guest's dad liked this piece, bought it from him, and later gifted it to the guest. Le Corbusier, born in Switzerland in 1887, was a multifaceted individual who excelled in architecture, urban planning, and art. His artwork reflects his vision of structure, almost resembling architectural forms. This watercolor embodies Le Corbusier's unique style. Based on its characteristics and provenance, the piece likely dates back to 1940 to 1945. At auction, its estimated value ranges from
between $15,000 and $25,000.
Wow.
In New York City in 1961, for a mere $15, this ceramic vase by Marcello Fantoni proves to be a wise investment. Marcello Fantoni, known for his modernistic designs influenced by Picasso, created this unique piece in Florence, Italy around 1950, focusing more on commercial pieces like bowls and dishes. The vase's vibrant colors and stylized design showcase Fantoni's mastery, with his workshop gaining fame for this type of enamel work. In pristine condition, the vase bears Fantoni's signature mark, indicating its authenticity and value. While initially purchased for $15, similar pieces have fetched around $1,500 to $1,600 in the market, with a major collector potentially willing to pay up to
Pay upwards of $3,000 for a retail.
Oh my, that's a nice return on my money, isn't it?
Excellent return.
35 years ago at a house sale in Evanston, Illinois for $500. This silver bird table ornament almost caused a rift, but the guests' fondness for it kept it in their possession. The piece is a pheasant table ornament, notable for its exceptional size and quality of workmanship, unlike other pheasant ornaments the appraiser has encountered. Upon inspecting the piece, the appraiser found continental marks under the head, likely from Germany, with import marks indicating it was imported into London in 1904 and made of sterling silver. At a well-advertised auction, this unique silver bird could fetch between
$4,000 to $5,000. It's very unusual.
Well, it sat on my front porch during Halloween for 25 years in October for the whole month.
The guest's lucky purchase at a historical society sale turned out to be a hidden gem. He snagged this unique devil statue for a mere $10, completely unaware of its true worth. The statue is a prime example of American folk art, a genre known for its inherent individuality and artistic expression by untrained artists. Based on its style, it is believed to be crafted by a local mill worker along the Monongahela River around 1920 to 1930 during the Prohibition and Temperance movement era. The devil figure, with its playful and perhaps slightly menacing grin, served as a whimsical yet clear warning against the evils of alcohol. The statue's personality and unique character are hallmarks of prized American folk art. These pieces are often imbibed with the artist's own perspective and creativity, resulting in works that are both aesthetically pleasing and culturally significant. Considering the statue's historical context, artistic merit, and folk art appeal, the estimated value is between
$4,000 and $5,000.
Wow. Jeez. Well, it sat on my front porch during Halloween for 25 years in October for the whole month.
Wizard clock, hanging in the guest's living room for many years, was inherited from her husband's father and mother, with little known about its history or value. The clock, dating back to around 1870, belongs to the Napoleon III era, known as Napoleon III in French. Manufactured by Julien Leroy et Fils, a prestigious clock firm established in 1785.
And they are considered some of the most prestigious makers of French clocks in history. They were associated with kings and queens. They had royal charter.
The clock features an 8-day movement, striking the hour and announcing the quarters.
We've got an enormously beautiful 18th century style dial, but it's still a mid-19th century clock.
It also includes a perpetual calendar accounting for leap years, an aneroid barometer, and alcohol and mercury thermometers, showcasing its intricate design and functionality. Despite some condition issues, including damage to the enamel and missing gilding, at a retail level, this clock is estimated to be worth between
$5,000 and $6,000.
Okay.
Finely chain-stitched embroidered Indian textile from a local art museum sale about 30 years ago.
Really? I just knew a bargain when I saw one.
What was your bargain?
$10.
$10. You sure that wasn't too much?
Oh, back then it was a lot.
The textile features silk embroidery and is believed to date back to the 18th century, most likely made in Gujarat, Western India, during the Mughal Empire. This piece showcases a classic medallion pattern with delicate, curvilinear designs. Inspired by Queen Anne embroideries, these textiles were produced for both domestic and export markets, often reaching Europe, particularly England, as coverlets or canopies. Despite some condition issues such as slight discoloration and small holes, which are expected in pieces of this age, the majority of the textile is in excellent condition. Given its size, about 80 inches by 100 inches, and historical significance, the textile is conservatively valued at
$25,000 to $30,000.
Wow.
It's a special piece, really.
Well, it's even more special now.
Stone Dove is a sculpture that holds a significant historical and artistic value. Passed down to the guest by his brother, this piece has been in the house since 1985. The sculpture was created by an African-American artist, Edmondson, who was the first African-American folk art sculptor to be given a one-person show exhibition at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City in 1937. This sculpture is part of his body of work that began around 1930. Edmondson felt a divine calling to create art, using the soft limestone material to carve pieces that included tombstones and garden ornaments. Despite the racial challenges of the time, his work gained recognition when a New York fashion photographer, documented his yard and tried to publish the photos in Harper's Bazaar. Regardless of the initial uncertainty about the value of his work, Edmondson's legacy persisted, and it's no surprise this piece is valued at the hefty price of
$125,000.
Yes. Ordinary vessels. They're vessels of history, each one bearing the weight of a generation's past. A guest proudly showcased a tiny crock crafted by their great-great-uncle, Jacob Swank, co-founder of Swank Potteries in late 19th century Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The appraiser recognized its significance as a piece of cobalt-decorated salt-glazed pottery, noting its rarity due to its miniature size and delicate craftsmanship. Despite its small stature, the crock bore a unique distinction. It was personally signed by Jacob Swank himself, dating back to March 1874. Unlike the mass-produced utilitarian pottery of the era, this piece held special familial value, having been passed down through generations. Tragically, Jacob Swank's life was claimed by the infamous Johnstown floods of 1889, adding a poignant layer to the crock's history. Despite economic downturns, American decorated stoneware like this continued to thrive in the collector's market. While examining the condition of the vessel, the appraiser said,
"Today what we're going to do is put a retail value on this piece in the $9,000 to $11,000 range."
Oh my gosh.
A remarkable object sits on the table, a clapperless bell. Its owner, hopeful yet uncertain, believes it might be a bianzong, an ancient Chinese bell. This unassuming piece holds a secret far grander than its $12 auction price tag suggests. It could date back to the illustrious Chu dynasty, 1046 to 256 BC. The metal has undergone a chemical transformation, a telltale sign of its age. Further evidence comes in the form of a greenish discoloration,
reverting back to the composite materials that make up bronze.
Not merely surface wear, but a condition known as bronze disease that permeates the metal itself. This phenomenon serves as a definitive mark of authenticity. The appraiser confirms this is a genuine bianzong. A mere $12 investment has yielded an artifact with a potential value of
$4,000 to $6,000 at an auction sale. That's at auction.
Elegant suit, once owned and worn by the legendary jazz tenor player Dexter Gordon, was purchased by the guest at an auction of jazz-related memorabilia in New York City around 12 years ago. Worn by Gordon to the Academy Awards ceremony, where he was nominated for Best Male Actor for his role in Round Midnight. Designed by Arthur McGee, the first African-American fashion designer on 7th Avenue in New York, the suit is not only a stylish ensemble, but also a symbol of breaking barriers in American fashion. Dexter Gordon, known for his towering height of 6'5", was nicknamed Long Tall Dex, adding to his larger-than-life persona. And
We had a custom suit designed. Apart from wanting something fancy, is because he's quite tall.
My goodness.
Yeah.
apart from its historical significance, the suit's association with Dexter Gordon and the craftsmanship of Arthur McGee make it a highly collectible item, valued at least
$5,000. We actually had the great fortune in Anaheim a few years ago to meet his daughter. She came to the Roadshow and she brought some beautiful signed photographs.
brooch, passed down from the guest's husband's grandmother, is a creation of Seaman Sheps, a renowned jeweler known for his innovative designs. Signed on the back, this brooch showcases Sheps' early work, dating back to the 1950s, featuring drilled pearls filled with tiny gold fillings, a distinctive characteristic of his early creations. Unlike his later pieces, which often incorporated diamonds, this brooch showcases citrines, demonstrating Sheps' early experimentation with stones. Despite brooches not being in current fashion trends, their popularity tends to cycle. In the current market, this Seaman Sheps brooch is estimated to be worth between
Say in the market right now, you're at $4,000 to $6,000.
Wow.
Atlas, printed in 1836, is a remarkable piece of cartographic history. It was acquired by the guest's father and has been passed down to the guest.
It was handed down to me a couple of years ago. It was something that I marveled at as a child, looking at the old historic maps and finding things like Transylvania.
The atlas contains 63 hand-colored maps, showcasing the world as it was known in the 19th century. As seen, the maps are vividly colored, as they have remained in the volume, preserving their historical accuracy and charm. Also, this atlas reflects a period of intense exploration and expansion of knowledge about the world. It was a valuable resource for both private and academic purposes, often found in private libraries, schools, and prestigious institutions. Additionally, the maps were not just educational tools, but also decorative pieces for sitting rooms and parlors. Despite the wear and tear on the original ground cloth cover, which could be restored by a conservator, the complete nature of this atlas adds to its estimated value at
$15,000 to $20,000.
Whoa.
Ho, ho, ho. That's a lot more than my dad paid.
including medals such as the Silver Star and the Air Medal, belonged to the guest's father. Her father served on the crew of the Enola Gay during World War II as a radar operator on the plane. The appraiser highlighted the significance of the mission on August 6, 1945, when the first atomic bomb was dropped over Hiroshima. These medals were presented to her father after the dropping of the bomb.
They didn't know if they would make it back.
That's true.
And these are the awards that were given to him because of that gallantry. And this is the actual paper that was given to him because of getting the award.
This document indicated that the aircraft crew members faced unknown risks with bravery, leading to the awarding of the medals. These wings, adorned with the American Eagle emblem at the center, were proudly worn by her father. The guest also displayed a $2 bill signed by all crew members, including the pilot, Paul Tibbets. Due to the rarity and historical importance of such items, the appraiser estimated them to be
for $15,000.
Oh, wow. That's a surprise.
This charming Patty and the Pig by Lehman is one specific treasure that sticks out. It's a humorous tale about an Irish farmer named Paddy and his escapades with a playful pig named Lehman. The 113-year-old toy is from the guest's father, given to him for his 8th birthday. The appraiser shows the details of the toy. The appraiser estimated it between $900 and $1,200.
Probably.
And has a collection of Star Wars figures from the late 1970s and early 1980s. His wife and mother-in-law watched Star Wars 7 times when it came out, which led to his wife to want to start collecting the figures. Star Wars came out in 1977, but the toys didn't come out until 1978 because of production issues. One of the figures, a Jawa with a cloth cape, is common, and it sells for $25.
It's in really good condition. If it was on the card factory sealed, it'd be $500 to $800.
The Jawa figure originally came with a rare vinyl cape.
But conservatively, at auction, for the vinyl cape Jawa alone, you're easily looking at between $2,000 and $3,000 for the single Jawa.
Oh, wow.
The rest of the collection, although not much, is worth.
You're in the $400 to $600 range conservatively.
Oh, wow.
Pretty cool
Wow.
day, right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm glad my wife took care of them and kept them put away. That's all I can say.
Taught at Harvard in the mid to late 1960s, he was able to witness a student strike protesting the Vietnam War, which caused issues in Cambridge and Boston. The incident was highly publicized. The events likely led up to the Kent State Massacre in 1970. A group of students called Designers for Peace created the inexpensive posters and distributed them throughout the Harvard buildings. In April of 1969, the Harvard Crimson reported that these posters were considered high art and contributed to the strike's rhetoric. One poster featured lyrics from a Beatles song, another included quotes from Pablo Neruda, and another became an iconic image of the 1969 strikes. While these posters are not widely available on the market, they can fetch a significant sum when sold at auction.
Between $600 and $900.
Oh, very interesting.
Belonged to her husband. The appraiser was intrigued by the rare item known as the coasting bank, an American-made money bank. The piece operated by sliding a penny down a sled-like mechanism into the bank, simulating coasting. It was made from cast iron. However, the base lacked a patent date, which lowered its value. The appraiser mentioned its appearance in an 1884 catalog, suggesting it was made around that time. It was considered rare, as it had never appeared in museums or auctions, making it highly desirable among collectors. Taking into account its excellent condition, the appraiser estimated its value.
If you decided to go into auction, I would strongly suggest you went at a figure of between £20,000 and £25,000.
Really?
This fall front desk is a piece of furniture steeped in history and charm, which has garnered attention for its cultural significance and craftsmanship. This unique desk, with its distinctive fall front design, evokes images of bygone eras and frontier life. Our guest found this piece of furniture in an abandoned barn that her grandparents were buying in East Texas. The desk was made by a relative of the people who were selling the farm. She found it in a relatively dilapidated state, then stripped it and restored it to a better condition. The desk we've been presented with has a style that is an extension of late classical design in the 19th century. This style, known as the pillar and scroll design, was popular in the 1840s. Created in southeast Texas, the land of harvesting yellow pine, this beautiful piece of furniture is made of wood from the yellow pine tree. Its intricate details and solid construction make it a prized possession among collectors and historians alike. This is evident from the wild graining present on the wood. The maker went through considerable efforts, employing bias or diagonal sawing of the wood to achieve this effect, which is peculiar to furniture made from this material. The piece's scrolls are really intriguing because they serve as a desk support in addition to being decorative. This depicts a complex mechanism on an ordinary piece of furniture. This vernacular furniture, crafted through the 19th century using wood from the yellow pine tree from southeast Texas, in an auction would cost about
$2,000 to $2,500.
Wow, my humble desk.
Yeah, really.
It's going back in the safe.
This brooch was a treasured belonging of a World War II survivor and was presented by her daughter. The brooch was made with Bakelite, which is a plastic-like material that is no longer popularly used. The piece is beautifully constructed with intricate carvings, set on a gilded metal stem and glazed. It was made in France, and the brooch's purple color made it unique because purple is an unusual Bakelite color. The value of Bakelite has dropped over the years, so the piece was only worth $500 to $700. The owner was still very happy to hear this.
$500 to $700. Wow, really?
Yeah, really.
It's going back in the safe.
Brought in 2 glass pieces they snagged at a garage sale and an estate sale, hoping to learn more about them. This green one, while not less, is still a beautiful bohemian piece, probably made in 1910 to 1920s. An interesting feature of this, most glass is blown from the bottom, but this actually has a pontil on the top, indicating it was blown from the top. The second piece, a Let's Candia Silberus Acetarg, is indeed a valuable example of Let's craftsmanship. Let's was a company in Austria that did lots of iridescent glass in the early 1900s. It's called Candia Silberus Acetarg, with the Candia referring to the model, Silbericis referencing the iridescence, and Arcetig denoting the small dimples. This was actually blown from the bottom, unlike the first piece, so you can see the polished section where the low stick and pontil would have come off. This Let's creation, acquired in a garage sale for just $2, is estimated to have a retail value of around
It would be about $150.
The first glass piece, while not less, was still a beautiful bohemian piece with a retail value of around
$1,500.
Vase, a treasured possession that held a story as rich as its vibrant colors. She had acquired it for just $150 in the early 1960s from a dealer who sourced it from a demolished mid-century beach house. The vase is a Dalton Burleson creation designed by George White in the late Victorian era. The Dalton Burleson emblem and George White's signature, along with a possible title, Autumn, further confirmed its origin and artistry. This piece was made between 1891 and 1902. While Victorian-style ceramics weren't as highly sought after as they once were, this particular vase belonged to the top tier of Dalton works. The quality of the craftsmanship and design placed it among the most desirable pieces from this era. This distinction meant its value held up better than most Victorian ceramics, and at auction is worth between
$2,000 and $3,000. So
I see.
Featured is a Francisco de Gamboa's commentary on the mines of Mexico, printed in Madrid in 1761. It is in pristine, original condition with a stunning vellum binding. The book has been passed down through generations in the Guest family, originally acquired by John Smith Sr. during his European travels in the 19th century. Francisco de Gamboa, the maker, was a renowned Spanish scholar known for his extensive writings on the New World. Apart from the commentary on Mexican mines, he produced treatises on indigenous cultures and colonial administration. Conservatively, the book is estimated to be valued at an auction between
Auction at $3,000 to $5,000.
Wow. Well, it's certainly makes it the most valuable in my collection.
Belonging to the Guest's great-grandfather, this cherished music box has been passed down through generations as a treasured heirloom. The music box is a Regina music box made by Regina, the premier maker of American music boxes. This particular model, with its Rookwood-style cabinet featuring floral decorations, hand-painted vignettes, and landscape panels, was produced around 1904 to 1906. The mahogany construction and the presence of a pull-out shelf for the 15.5-inch discs further solidified its authenticity. The music box also boasted a complex movement, a double comb player, and a harp attachment, signifying a more elaborate creation. However, what truly set it apart was its pristine condition. Despite being passed down through generations, the music box remained remarkably well preserved. Considering the Regina's model number, the presence of the nameplate with serial number and patent dates, its elaborate features, and exceptional condition, the estimated value is to be between
Estimated at $10,000 to $15,000
I'd say
for auction. And I think it might do a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought 10 to 12 is kind of what I thought, yeah.
First episode of Austin City Limits in 1974 marked a turning point in his career, propelling him to country music legend status. His laid-back outlaw style resonated with the live music scene in Austin, Texas, and
his laid-back outlaw style and helped grow his reputation as a performer.
The first item discussed is a pair of boots that belonged to another country music icon, Gene Autry. Autry was a childhood hero of Nelson's and made by the Lucchese Company. These boots are valued between
$7,000 and $10,000.
They're incredible.
Next, a concert poster from 1972 promotes a performance by Willie Nelson. This poster captures a significant moment in Nelson's career when he decided to leave Nashville and return to Texas. In the current market, such posters are valued around
$100 to $150 range.
Lastly, a Platinum Record Award for Nelson's album Always on My Mind is showcased. This award, presented by the Recording Industry Association of America, signifies 1 million copies sold. Given its personal significance to Nelson, this award could fetch between
$3,000 and $5,000.
Really great to see these examples here, and also incredible that he's given this collection to the Briscoe Center that we can enjoy, and thanks for sharing.
Our guest's collection of artworks, brought back from Paris by their grandparents, features pieces from the 1930s and 1940s, representing the School of Paris. A notable piece is a dry-point print by Pablo Picasso, dating back to the 1930s, showcasing an early signature style and a classic design. Despite some damage from light exposure,
against the tone, it has been light struck. That's the darker color across the front. And most of these prints do have spotting, some damp issues.
Another highlight is a lithograph by Marie Laurencin, known for her romantic and mysterious subjects, characterized by simplified features and almond-shaped eyes. The collection also includes a crayon lithograph by Henri Matisse depicting his wife.
Portrait of his wife, and this again is an early crayon lithograph from the 1930s.
In good condition, the Picasso print could fetch
$10,000 to $15,000.
The Laurencin lithograph,
It's $3,000 to $5,000.
and the Matisse lithograph.
This would be worth $5,000 to $7,000.
Firearms belong to the guest's great-grandparents, who lived in Montrose County, Colorado, at the end of the 19th century. The Colt single-action revolver, dating back to the early 1900s, is a 38 to 40 caliber with a 4.75-inch barrel, valued at approximately
$3,500.
The Colt Model 1877 double-action revolver, known as the Thunder in 41 caliber, is a rare find. Factory engraved by Helfrich, a master engraver at Colt, it features intricate C engraving, pearl grips, and a nickel finish, with 97% of the finish remaining. Valued at
$15,000.
Wow.
The set includes a matching Western gun belt and holster, valued at
Holster's worth about $3,000.
grandmother. The guest showed a painting that perfectly depicts the saying, "Show, don't tell." It's an oil painting that makes you feel like you're in the scenario.
By her great friend Myrtis. As far as we know, it was bought for her in 1919 by her father.
And it depicts St. Michael's Mount, which is a tidal island. It was done by Sir Lamorna Birch, an artist whose expertise was in using oils and watercolors. This one, being no different, exudes so much elegance and is very well detailed, as we can see many tiny details like the sun, etc. What's surprising here is, despite the real scenario not being as elegant as the painting depicts the usual workday of individuals at the time. As an oil painting that makes the viewer feel like he was present in the scene, the value of this painting is estimated to be...
The price was $3,500, and I believe the lowest price was £150.
£150?
Yes.
Yeah. I think you'd get a couple of offers here for £150.
Style. Inherited from his father, this guest showcases an exhibition vase and its accompanying case. Upon observing the inside of the case, there's a Sevres marking, indicating that it was produced by the Sevres company in France. Although most items with this marking aren't authentic, this piece, however, is indeed authentic.
Sev marks are all guilty until proven innocent, meaning 99% of everything that has a Sev mark was not made by the Sev factory. But this is indeed an authentic piece of Sev.
This piece is beautifully handcrafted with a variety of colors. At the bottom is the company's signature and the year it was made. Furthermore, at the front of the case is a brass plaque inscribed with some interesting information. An item in such perfect condition, along with its intact case, is a rarity and would be valued at auction around
Between $2,000 and $3,000. Okay.
S brings a lovely painting for appraisal. It was bought in Crane, Missouri for $2,500. This beautiful artwork was done by the artist Charles Zachary Landel. Landel was a French painter who specialized in portraits. He was best known for his Orientalist works. This is indeed a beautiful piece.
He's painted a very beautiful subject.
Right.
She's probably just coming home from the market with her flowers.
It is valued at about...
It might bring between $25,000 and $35,000, and if you wanted to insure it, I would insure it for $40,000.
Well, that's not too bad.
By Gregory Gluckman, originally Gregory Glickman, was purchased by the guest from a dealer in New Orleans in 1996. Gregory Gluckman, born in Russia in 1898, moved to Berlin in 1920 to escape the revolution, and later to Paris in 1924.
During that time, he had exhibited quite extensively.
Known for his depictions of news, street scenes, and Parisian nightlife, Gluckman's work gained popularity, especially after moving to the United States in 1941 and settling in Los Angeles. Represented by the prestigious Dalzell Hatfield Gallery in L.A., Gluckman's work became highly sought after. This painting, done on panel rather than canvas, showcases Gluckman's meticulous layering technique, which adds a softness to the forms and backgrounds of his work. The painting's value has significantly appreciated over the years, with a current estimated value of...
This were to be offered in a gallery, it would more than likely sell for $100,000.
Wow.
The guest's grandmother owned a painting by Fremont Ellis, which always hung on the mantel. Our guest doesn't know much about Fremont Ellis, but is aware of his importance as an American Modernist artist, particularly within the New Mexico Modernist movement. Fremont Ellis was part of Los Cinco Pintores, one of the first Santa Fe artist groups consisting of 5 painters. The appraiser estimates the painting's value at auction to be around
$10,000 to $15,000.
Okay.
Artwork was brought by the guest, which was collected by his uncle. The item was identified as a wooden invitation by Alexander Calder to his circus from around 1926. The appraiser highlighted Calder's early life, career, and interest in circuses. The invitation featured the text Circa Calder at the top, followed by the address. Moreover, the back of the invitation includes a handwritten note from Calder to his assistant. This provenance, with Calder's signature and inscription, adds significant authenticity to the piece. Considering the personal connection to Calder, the potential value of the item was
Roughly $10,000 to $15,000.
Wow.
Inherited a vest that had been cherished in their family for generations. The guest recounted the fascinating historical tale behind the creation of the beautiful piece. Although the story couldn't be verified, it added depth to the vest's legacy. Upon examination, the appraiser noted influences of chinoiserie in its design. It was a trend in Europe during the 17th and 18th century where people imitated and interpreted Chinese and other Asian art. They enjoyed decorating their furniture, textiles, and various items with Asian-inspired designs. Despite some discoloration and mildew spots, the vest remained in remarkable condition. Recognizing its significance, the appraiser conservatively suggested its value to be,
I'd have to say that conservatively $3,000 to $5,000 in the auction market.
Eyeglasses were collected by our guest. They date back to the late 1950s and are among the first designer glasses. On the guest's right side is a pair of 14-karat gold eyeglasses, while on their left side is an eyeglass made with platinum. These sets were crafted by a famous fashion designer, Elsa Schiaparelli, who was an Italian fashion designer who gained fame for her creative designs in the early to mid-1900s, and she established the House of Schiaparelli in Paris in 1927.
She was one of the most incredible Paris couture designers of her time.
Examining the eyeglasses on the right, we see that their bridge is made of 14-karat yellow gold, while the eyeglasses on the left are plated in platinum and also feature radiant rubies inlaid in their frame. Interestingly, these glasses are prototypes. Nonetheless, this pair of unique glasses together with their intact case will undoubtedly be estimated to be
$1,100 and $1,200 are valued in the $6,000 to $9,000 price range.
Thank you very much.
Watercolor painting with a unique backstory. Mrs. Sanderson, the woman in the painting, is a local resident known for always wearing long skirts. The actual medium for the painting is watercolor and body color gives more weight to the paint. This particular type of technique is called divisionism, a 19th century Italian innovation in which the structure and the forms are built up in a cross-hatching diagonal way.
But when one comes away and outside the main figure, kind of halo effect round.
This combination of techniques is particularly interesting as it makes the painting quite unusual. The painting has been kept in its original frame, and on the label it has the Darlington Society of Artists, the subject, artist name, address, and original price. While valuing local artwork, especially unique pieces, can be challenging, this item is estimated to be worth around
£1,000 to £1,500. I don't know what that seems to you.
My grandmother would have been absolutely thrilled.
Delighted, yes.
Brought in a family heirloom, a painting passed down from her grandfather for over 100 years. According to family lore, her grandfather had purchased it, along with a whole collection of Dutch paintings, from an old man in Holland who was selling off his art. It is a lovely picture made by the artist Herman Swanevelt, with the painting containing a small monogram that matched Swanevelt's signature style. This, along with the overall style of the painting, confirmed its authenticity. Swanevelt was a 17th century Dutch painter who was heavily influenced by Italian landscape artists. While the quality of the painting varied, the figures were particularly well done. Its age, good condition, and reputable artist all contributed to its value. Considering these factors, the estimated worth of the painting is
could well be worth in excess of £15,000 today.
In a collection of photographs and correspondence related to their family members, primarily focusing on James Wormley and the Wormley Hotel in Washington, D.C. The guest explained that James Worley was his great-great-grandfather, who owned the renowned hotel in Washington. The appraiser examined the picture of the hotel that no longer stood. The guest also shared the historical role of James at Abraham Lincoln's deathbed in 1865.
And he actually was portrayed in the Littlefield picture of Lincoln's deathbed as the only African-American in that image.
The collection, which included photographs, tintypes, and a broadside on James Wormley's death, was showcased. The appraiser was impressed by the neatly arranged and labeled photographs and albums. This wonderful collection was rare and of high historical significance. The value estimated for the collection was,
I would value this at about $5,000, at least, maybe more.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Wind-up toy made by the Marx Company in the 1930s. It shows Popeye carrying his parrot cages. The owner got it from their family's house, which was built in 1908. They didn't know how to use the toy and didn't try it. However, during the appraisal, it was checked and found to be working. The toy is missing Popeye's pipe, but it could be replaced. The real value is in the box that comes with it. Without the box, the toy could be worth $150 to $250. The box is rare and in good condition, which makes it more valuable than the toy itself. The appraiser told the guest to take good care of the box to keep its value. But with the box, the item could be worth...
And you'll have a piece that's worth about $400 to $600.
Maybe the pipe's on the floor of the attic somewhere.
Search for it, see if you can find it.
Porcelain plaque named Ruth rests on the table. This was passed down from the guest's grandmother in 1918 or 1920. Its size is truly delightful, a key factor that attracts collectors of these plaques.
It's also an artist-signed example of Ruth, which is hand-painted. Down in the corner here is R. Dietrich.
Right.
It's a product of KPM, the renowned ceramic porcelain manufacturer in Berlin. This inscription here, R. Dietrich, reveals the artist behind the beautiful portrait of Ruth. Here on the back, another impressive thing is the KPM mark. This prestigious mark is truly what propels it to the next level of collectability. KPM plaques are highly sought after, not just within the United States, but by international collectors as well. At auction, it would estimate a range of
$5,000 to $7,000
Really?
range.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
The presentation showcases a captivating visual portrayal of a specific area, an exquisite map. Passed down to our guest by his father, a distinguished building contractor, this cherished artifact holds deep familial significance. Focused on Linn County, with particular emphasis on the vibrant city of Cedar Rapids, this map unveils a tapestry of historical richness and cultural significance. Cedar Rapids, Iowa's second-largest city, is renowned for its vibrant community spirit, cultural allure, and economic dynamism. This remarkable map meticulously captures the essence of Cedar Rapids during its formative years, showcasing the bustling factories and charming homes that defined the landscape. Transporting us back in time, it vividly portrays Cedar Rapids as a burgeoning frontier town, pulsating with growth and promise since its inception in 1838. Notably dated 1869, this map serves as a tangible link to the past. With its intricate details of towns, rivers, roads, and property boundaries, this map provides invaluable insights into the landscape and settlement patterns of Linn County and Cedar Rapids, while also illuminating their growth and evolution into their collective heritage, and would have a monetary value of
$1,000 and $1,500.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yep.
Guest brought a porcelain drinking piece that had been acquired by his father. It was specifically a rice wine bottle. The appraiser admired the beautiful item and identified it as Japanese Hirado porcelain, dating back to around 1840 to 1860. A Japanese porcelain type characterized by its pure white body and clear gaze. The particular piece was notable for its pale blues on a creamy white background, adorned with restrained decoration and white space. The intriguing item's value was estimated by the appraiser.
This piece today would have a value of $1,500 to $2,500.
Today's episode centers around two very famous individuals. The first individual, whose image is embedded on the medallion presented today on the show, is George Washington. Washington was an American founding father and politician who served as the first president of the United States. While the second famous individual is the person who crafted this magnificent medallion, Samuel McIntyre. McIntyre was an American architect and craftsman, best known for his work in the Chestnut Street District, a classic example of Federal-style architecture.
This carving of George Washington was probably made by Samuel McIntyre of Salem, Massachusetts.
Yes.
And Salem at that time was a very wealthy community with a big shipping industry.
This medallion was crafted to be placed outside, and only 8 of them were made as listed in McIntyre's inventory after his death. The carvings on this medallion have characteristics often typical of McIntyre's work.
And this possibly may be one of those 8 medallions of George Washington that are listed.
a rare medallion of an American hero and president done by one of the most famous craftsmen of that federal period is sure to be worth.
This is probably worth somewhere in the range of between $70,000 and probably about $90,000.
Well, that's very interesting.
Immediately, she laid her eyes on this sculpture. She loved it and purchased it from a dealer who sold Haitian art. Angel Botello, a Spanish Puerto Rican artist, made the sculpture in the 1980s. Angel is said to be one of the greatest Latin American postmodern artists.
He's probably the most famous sculptor in Puerto Rico.
The lady's sculpture was a seated young lady figure made with bronze.
I relate to bronze ladies, so I thought I just related to her totally.
Value placed on the sculpture was $10,000.
Okay, nice. Really nice.
A descendant of the family painted in this portrait brought it to the Roadshow to discover who the painter was. It was revealed to her that the painting was done by an American artist, Jane Anthony Davis. Jane mostly made paintings using watercolor and pencil. The family's painting was inscribed at the back with the names of the sitters, where and when it was painted.
So this is an incredible family document and a wonderful example of a rare woman artist.
A value between $25,000 to $35,000 was given to the piece.
That's very nice. My husband will be very surprised.
After a relative passed away, they found an album full of paintings and a letter which explained the friendly relationship between the artist and their relative. The artist's name was Alfred Bastien. Alfred was a Belgian artist who made artworks like Panorama de Iser, which was 115 meters long. The guest album contained a total of about 160 paintings of landscapes in various regions.
What a splendid album, full of splendid drawings, if I may say.
A value of $12,000 to $15,000 was placed on the album. This charming rocker dates back to around 1888 or 1890, featuring a unique spring seat and a rare cast iron mechanism underneath. It is believed to have been crafted by the Hunsinger Company in New York, making it a rare find. The rocker's uniqueness lies in a brass plaque stating it was used by President Benjamin Harrison. President Harrison presented the chair to Colonel William Cook in March 1893. The chair's journey to its current owner is somewhat mysterious, as it has been in the family for generations. As a child, the current owner asked to be the caretaker of the chair, a request granted by their parents. Despite its age, the rocker's excellent condition makes it valuable.
Probably worth, if it came up at public auction, probably in the area of about $5,000.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Well, that is very interesting.
I'm glad you're taking such good care.
Updated value of this historical piece is $8,000. A drawing was brought to the show, given to the guest by his father. The painting was identified to be made by the eminent 19th century artist George Seurat. The appraiser explained Seurat's significance, who was particularly known for his masterpiece Sunday Afternoon at the Grand Jatte. Although the particular piece was a minor drawing, the fact that it was created in Seurat's early age makes it highly significant. There was an inscription on the drawing back in French, linking it to Félix Fénéon. The appraiser acknowledged Fénéon's significance as a notable art critic who admired Seurat's work. Furthermore, the inclusion of John Rewald, a prominent art historian, in the inscription adds to its value. The appraiser also pointed out the label from the Sterling and Francine Clark Art Institute, confirming its authenticity. All these factors made the drawing valuable, not just financially, but also in art history. Given the impeccable provenance, the potential value was estimated to be around.
An auction estimate on this drawing, I think it's easy to say $7,000 to $10,000.
Very nice
It's
news.
very exciting for me to see.
In the early 1920s, Charles Lindbergh had a mishap with his biplane near Glencoe, Minnesota, and ended up in a drainage ditch, leaving the plane grounded for weeks. During that time, Lindbergh stayed at the owner's grandparents' farm for about a month and became friends with the owner's father. Together with locals from Glencoe, they repaired the plane, and Lindbergh took off again. In 1953, Lindbergh sent a signed copy of the first edition of his book, The Spirit of St. Louis, to the owner's grandparents. In 1973, the owner's father had Lindbergh sign a salvaged part of the propeller. It was recently featured in an exhibition in Glencoe. The Spirit of St. Louis is valued at around $2,000, while Boyhood on the Upper Mississippi is valued at about $700. The whole collection, including the propeller part, is valued.
I feel comfortable that the whole collection is worth somewhere around $7,000 to $10,000, but because of the magnitude of it, I think it could fetch well north of that.
Revised appraisal for this memorabilia collection ranges between $5,000 and $7,000.